Hi, welcome back. This unit is about water element in our dreams. It's a very recurring element, obviously, because we are emotional beings and water is related to emotions. As you probably noticed, whenever you are emotional, we release waters in different ways. Tears, sweat, sometimes urine. So water is very connected to our emotional life. And this metaphor of water for emotions is a quite obvious metaphor. So let's look at some of our PPT slides here. We can have all kinds of representations of water. It might be a leak, a wet floor, something that is uncomfortable, that should not be there, is disturbing, just like our emotions may be disturbing. Or it may be a fountain, something beautiful, a spring, a well, something pure water that you can need for either drinking or washing, cleansing yourself. It can be a wave that you surf on if you enjoy it, or a wave that maybe will take you away and flood your house and maybe make you drawn in it. So whatever is comfortable will be related to comfortable emotions. Whatever is not so comfortable will be related to not so comfortable emotions. Might be a lake or a sea that will then relate to your emotional nature or emotional body. It can be different activities related to water, like bathing, showering, diving under the water, which would mean that you feel very comfortable in your emotional nature, or swimming, fairly comfortable also, unless you're drawn. Water skiing, having fun with water, everything is possible. So be aware that water in our dreams will not necessarily be accompanied by strong emotional feelings. It's just a metaphor. It's a message that will bring up to your awareness an emotional issue. On the other hand, when you have strong feelings, it might not be related to any water. The dream doesn't need to offer you a metaphor for something that you are in touch with. It offers you metaphors for something that you're not in touch with. Also, a water body, the sea, a lake, a pool, might refer to your emotional nature, your emotional body. Clean or dirty water means clean or dirty emotions. Look at the way you feel towards water. Is it going to purify or sustain you, or is it going to bother you in some way? And I want to attract your attention on the fact that pure water coming from a pure spring will be related to a sense of love energy, because love is emotion in its purest representation, its purest dimension, high vibrational. We will come back on this. Let's look at a few examples. A woman who followed therapy for depression dreams, I have a problem with a leak, water running in my bathroom. I am waiting for the plumber. I fear that I may not hear him knock at the door, so I go down to look for him. I see him, but I forget to tell him about my problem. He leaves, and I don't know if he has made the repair. I arrive late at my work. If you want, Take some time to practice your own reformulation before you look at my proposal for reformulation. I have an unresolved emotional issue that affects my whole inner environment, my whole being. Water leaking, running in my bathroom. I hope for some help from resources that might be my own inner plumber, but she is looking for somebody from the outside, so it might refer here to the counselor. I hope for some help from a counselor, from an outer resource. I have some anxiety that I may not find an appropriate counselor. I may not hear him knock at the door. I look for him. So I search. I try to be cooperative. I try to meet the appropriate counselor, the person who can help me repair my problem. I feel unable to fully clarify the deeper causes of my issue. I forget to tell him about my problem. But the opportunity may pass without even finding a solution to my problem. So she doesn't know if the plumber has been repairing. And she arrived late at her work. I feel I have wasted a lot of time in my growth opportunities for my personal development, for my own life, my inner work. Some comment about this. Indeed, the plumber here might be referring to the person who is supposed to fix the emotional problem, which is her counselor. The woman was engaged in a difficult counseling process with little progress. So, quite normally, she had some fears about it. The dream reveals that the exact cause of the problem, which was her childhood traumas, it appeared afterwards, at that point had not yet been fully identified, brought into her consciousness, and certainly not solved. And she had some fears about the process of the counseling. She had a lack of confidence and fear of wasting her time in this process. So clearly, the dream is telling her, reflecting her inner situation, her inner reality, that she is struggling with something and she doesn't have the solution yet. She's hoping to have a solution. Is there a resource element? What do you think? Might be the plumber. The plumber is resourceful. If it's her inner plumber, she could role play that part of her. If it's a counselor, why not? She can role play the counselor. But it's important she gets in touch with a sense of confidence. So if she is not in trust with the counselor, don't make her role play the counselor. She has to get back to a sense that she can solve her issue. There is a solution, and clarify her own intention about where she wants to go. There is always a solution. So that's what the dream can be inviting her to do. Just get back into a place of confidence. She may ask for other dreams to help her clarify what she needs to clarify. We haven't mentioned this yet, but it's an important point. You can always ask for a dream when you need to clarify an issue. When you go to bed in the evening, just tell yourself, I'd like to have a clear dream that I remember that offers me a clue about this question. A married man, I am on holiday in a country house that feels like home. It is located on top of a hill with forests and seaside not far away. All of a sudden the sea is rising. A huge flood, a tsunami, is invading the environment and reaching close to the house. I managed to avoid the water coming into my house by rapidly making diversion channels so that the waters move towards the sides. Take a few minutes to practice reformulation of this dream. And when you're ready, move on to my proposal. I am in a transition state on holiday, feeling in touch with my inner resources. Feels like home. I feel in a high state on top of a hill, and I have this view, forest and seaside. But all of a sudden, I experience a strong emotional situation. Sea is rising, water's rising, which I fear may make me feel totally overwhelmed by my emotions, lose control. If the sea invades my home, then I am in trouble. However, I managed to keep some kind of balance, avoiding an inner crisis, diversion channels, so that the waters can move towards the sides and avoid flooding my home. Comment? Indeed, the day after this dream, the dreamer experienced an emotional upset, quite strong, but he managed to keep it under some control. 3 questions. You remember which they are. What is the dream telling him? This is a kind of a warning dream. It happens a lot when you dream in the morning, especially if it's something you can't quite identify yet. Be prepared. It may be coming in the next day. So always try to relate your dreams with whatever happens just before or just after. It might be warning you, announcing a potential that is coming up in your life. Dreams have a wider perspective on the now than we normally have. The now includes the potentialities that are coming up into your reality. Resource elements, well, he is high and he has this home, this sense of trust, this capacity he can handle. He is faced with a challenge, but he can handle. So there are resources, and he can certainly reconnect with his own inner resource. The I perspective is at first resourceful. So he can anchor himself in that so that he can face whatever is coming up. Another dream, a married woman. I am with my husband. We both discover that we have been infected by a virus, which has been detected through analysis of our urine. This worries us, and my husband wants to know where this virus comes from. He inspects the water system of our house, using some powder that can reveal the viruses. And indeed, he finds the virus in our tap water. So again, take some time to do your own reformulation of this. If you want to, if you can, make a pause and then move on when you're ready. A simple reformulation of this, because this dream is quite straightforward. Water problem, water solution. I am in contact with my masculine part, husband, the rational, analytical part of her. I realize I have a problem, the virus, and I worry about it. This problem is related to some toxic emotional issue. Urine, wastewater, dirty water, in a way. So my masculine part is searching for understanding. I check out my emotional system, the water system of the house, using some self-analysis tool, this powder that can reveal things. And I succeed in identifying my problem. I understand it. Then you still have to work it out. Comment, indeed, the dreamer acknowledged that she had been worrying about a fear pattern that troubled her. She had been undertaking some work with the help of a counselor friend and had indeed identified the issue. So here again, we see that the dream is a clear reflection of her inner state, just showing, using the metaphor of water. Let's move on. A woman in her 30s, I find myself in my university environment. I have decided to go on a 7-day hike in the mountains. But before leaving, I have to take a shower. So I go to the public showers of the university, but lights are off in most showers. There is only one shower with a light, and my boyfriend is using it. I first think I can go and share the shower with him, but then I decide to do something else first, and I wait until he is done. Again, take a few minutes to practice reformulation, and when you're ready, just move on. So she is in her university environment. I am in touch with my learning process university. I want to explore and practice my inner process to reach into my higher inner space. That's the going on a mountain hike, reaching into a higher inner space. Before I do that, I know I need to purify my being. Reaching higher needs self-cleansing. Get rid of some inner dust, some hang-ups, unresolved issues. I make some efforts to search for an appropriate transformational method. Public showers. But what I find does not have the spiritual quality that I want. There is no light. It's all in the dark. So I don't quite find the approach that suits me, that suits my aspiration to reach higher. Then I find one transformational approach that seems to suit me. But my masculine part takes things too rationally at first. I first think this approach is going to make it. But then I realize I have to experience things more in depth. Sharing a shower with the rational part is going into the same experience, but no, I will wait until the rational let go, so that I can really experience things by myself in my feminine nature. And that takes a while before I'm ready to do that. So I'm waiting. I have to let go of my mind, let go of the rational, let go of the masculine. Comment? When exploring this dream, she felt that the shower clearly referred to her desire to start a meditation practice. The mountain hike, reaching a top, indicates her spiritual journey. She was ready for that. She was searching for an approach that would suit her needs. Indeed, quite clearly. However, her masculine part, the rational, was occupying the space. She was approaching things from an intellectual perspective, and that's not what meditation is about. She had to wait until she could let go of her mind and reach into the feelings of a real meditational inner state. Meditation is about breathing and feeling, about being. It's not about being in your head, about thinking. It's about letting go of the thinking, the mind totally focused. So we have a nice illustration of this. What is the dream telling her? Just reflecting her inner search. Resource elements. There is the mountain she hasn't reached yet. She could find herself or imagine herself already on top of the mountain. How does it feel? You can go there. You can also go in the shower. At the end of the dream, she's waiting. Why don't you go into the shower? Feel the transformation, the experience of pure water, love energy coming onto you, cleansing your being, feeling, going into the feeling, into the experience. So dreams are inviting us to always clarify our intentions, clarify our experience, clarify who we really are, where we want to be. So again, here we have a nice illustration, water elements, emotions, a beautiful topic. In next unit, we will come back on the transformation process. How do we deal with emotional energy when we meet emotional energy in our dreams? So keep practicing, and I look forward to the next unit with you soon. Bye-bye.